Hey everyone, it's Owen here from OTech, and in this video I'll be taking a look at the Asus ROG Strix B450i gaming ITX motherboard. Now I know I've been kind of late in this video because this thing launched quite a while ago with the B450 chipset and the Ryzen 2000 series, but now it's been updated to support the Ryzen 3000 series just like any other B450 motherboard sold these days. And I chose this motherboard for my up and coming PC build that's gonna be replacing my main desktop with the 6950X, and now I'm gonna start using this thing in a ITX case, the Lianli T150, and a Ryzen 9 3900X. And the only reason I picked this board was because the X570 motherboards that are available are either ridiculously expensive, like the Asus Crosshair 7 Impact board, which has two M.2 slots and everything, all the high-end features, but that is ridiculously expensive. And the other boards that are affordable are like the X570 boards. They don't have two M.2 slots, and I really wanted that feature. And this is the actually only board out there that supports that feature. So that's the main reason I bought this. Plus, B450 with PCIe Gen 3, it's still enough for my usage. I don't have a Radeon RX 5700 XT or like a PCIe Gen 4 SSD, so PCIe Gen 3 support is just fine for me. So there really isn't any disadvantages to choosing B450 over X570 in my build, because all my peripherals and all the features that I wanted are on this board. So let's take a look at the box and see what this is all about. So as you can see, they actually put the AMD Ryzen 3000 desktop ready sticker on the box itself, and it's not even a sticker. Usually they just slap on a sticker. They actually changed the box graphics to include that as well, so that I think that's a pretty nice touch. And you can see the box has the picture of the board itself in the front, and on the back you can see the motherboard and all of its features as well. As you can see, this board is an ITX board. It's a square setup. Well, it's just 17 by 17 centimeter, like all ITX boards, and it is a quite a cramped board layout. There's like stacked audio card and M.2 card on here, and a chipset underneath it, and stuff like that, even the Wi-Fi as well. But yeah, enough of the box. There really isn't much to see except for the features listed on the back, and let's just take a look at the board itself. So as you can see, the board is packed in here nice and tidy with some anti-static plastic bag, and underneath it there are some accessories, so we'll take a look at that. Okay, seems like we've got the front panel audio connector extension, it seems like, and we got the rear panel IO cover, which has like a black finish. So this looks really nice. Super neat compared to just the plain silver ones that you get sometimes with motherboards. You get some zip ties, which is kind of interesting because usually you just get zip ties with power supplies, not the motherboard. And you get some M.2 screws. Do you need that? Well, two of them actually, because for the back as well, I'm assuming. And I don't know what this is, but there's a bracket and a screw. And there's also the antenna for the Wi-Fi setup. Some RGB header. Like adapters, I guess. This looks like it'll work with the Phantix adapters, and also some SATA cables, just like any other motherboard these days. And the user manual, as well as the Asus ROG stickers over here. They look pretty cool. I think you're supposed to stick some of them on your motherboard. And there's also a card, ROG card. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for the accessories. Looks cool. There's quite a bunch of accessories that's nice to have. But yeah, let's take a look at the box. At the board itself now, actually, not the box. So yeah, here we go. So taking the board out of the plastic anti-static bag, here you see the board is a pretty simple black color theme affair. So there really isn't any other color. This is all black. Well, this is more like a dark gray finish, and I think it looks really nice. It has a very high-end feel, especially with this area with the metal cover for the M.2 slot. And as you can see, this is the interesting part of this board, which is that it has some like stacked PCBs for the M.2 on the top, and also the audio layout over here. And there's also the chipset underneath all that, if you can see that. There's a chipset heatsink, and there's also the VRM heatsink over here, obviously. And it is quite a beefy one. It looks like it should be adequate. There is some fins cut into it. There's not a super large amount of surface area, but being so large and being that this board uses a power stage setup, which is pretty efficient, I think it should run quite okay, even with the 3900X that I'm planning to use this. I don't really plan to overclock that crazy because I know Ryzen 3000 are kind of limited in that front. So even though you have like a 12 core, 16 core CPU, you should just enable PBO and leave it at that. No need any crazy overclocking these days. And there's also one 8-pin power connector right at the corner now. There isn't an extra connector, even though, you know, some of the Ryzen 3000 series motherboards have an extra 4-pin for overclocking. Like I said, you don't really need to because, you know, they boost just fine stock and they're almost at their limit anyways. There's the AM4 socket, obviously, and it uses the standard AM4 cooler mounts and the holes as well, unlike the ROG X570 Phantom Gaming ITX Thunderbolt motherboard, which uses an Intel mount, which is kind of weird. And over at the top, you can also see 3 fan connectors, so that's a nice touch because most motherboards don't have 3 fan connectors for ITX. Usually they only have 2, and that's quite limiting, especially with cases these days can support more than just 2 fans on ITX. And there's also a USB 3.0 front panel connector and USB 2.0, and that looks like some RGB connectors and stuff like that. There's a speaker connector and a front panel connector, 24 pin and 2 DDR4 memory slots, as well as 4 SATA slots that you can populate for SSDs. And on the back side of the board, you can see all the I/O, and well, there's just some USB 3.0 and HDMI, and I guess USB 3.1. I think these are, and this is an Ethernet LAN, and this is powered by the Intel NIC, so that's pretty nice. And there's Wi-Fi as well, and audio input and output. So the main feature of this board is that it has dual M.2 slots. There's one on the back and the other one on the PCB that I showed just now. And this is the main selling feature because I think there isn't enough ITX motherboard for AM4 that has 2 M.2 slots. And that is quite useful because if you're a content creator like I am, or if you just, you know, like to store lots of stuff and you don't want to put a bunch of hard drives or anything like that, you can just stick 2 M.2 SSDs into a compact system like this and you'll be all set. Unlike some motherboards where you only have 1 M.2 slots and you'll have to like buy a really expensive 4TB or 2TB NVMe SSD. But yeah, that's it for this unboxing. I'll do a video build, I guess, not really a review, because just a build with this board on my personal system pretty soon, and then you'll see more about this board later on. But for now, this is just the unboxing. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please leave a like, and please click subscribe to see more of my future videos. Thanks for watching.